With the recent uptake in activity of various Brave Group subsidiaries in the VTubing world, I would like to talk about how their Western expansion is going so far. But before we talk about branches, first we should talk about the three. Brave was established in 2017 by the name of Virtual YouTuber and then later was renamed to Unlimited. They were first put on the map with the success of Game Club project in 2018, a VTuber project based on creating short videos and live streams with 4 members. The project and the company itself had some controversies about replacing talents behind the characters and then ended operations after a long hiatus in February of 2021. From this project came another success story by the name of Aogiri High School, although this group was later transferred to Vivion, a Brave Group partner company. Since then, Brave grew to be a major player in the Japanese VTubing industry by both starting new projects and buying existing IPs, as well as dabbling in multiple projects outside of VTubing like esports, extended reality, mocap, and music. More recently, they also started focusing on expanding beyond Japan. They opened offices in the US, Europe, Thailand, and China, as well as setting up shop and mockup studio in the US. In his interview with VTuber Newsdrop, Brave Group CEO Noguchi Kato said that 2024 is the year of global expansion. So, let's see where we stand right now. VSPO, also known as Virtual Esports Projects, is a Japan-based VTuber group managed by Virtual Entertainment. They started in October of 2018 and since then grew to be the third biggest corpo in the Japanese VTubing scene. As the name would suggest, the group is focused on esports titles, mainly on FPS games. In June of 2022, Virtual Entertainment and therefore VSPO was bought by Brave Group, with the talents remaining under their original management. Although the mother company doesn't seem to be involved in the day-to-day operations, with this acquisition VSPO became the most recognized and biggest brand under Brave. VSPO EN was announced in August 2023 together with the auditions, and since then not much information has been publicized. So the best we can do is wait. Otherwise, a marginally interesting information about the new branch is that when we open the audition page on the VSPO EN website, it leads us to the general audition form of Brave US. So maybe Brave is getting a little more hands-on with the new branch. But even with that, a complete takeover seems unlikely since support tickets still go to a Virtual Entertainment email address. V4 Mirai came as Brave's first Western VTuber project with a more idol-leaning singing dancing direction managed by Brave Group US. Their first generation debuted in June of 2023 with 2 members. Less than 3 months later, in September of 2023, they debuted their 3D models, so we could already see their support structure in action. The second generation debuted in November of 2023 with 4 additional members. Christmas that year saw the first cooperation of V4 Mirai with an established Western corporation, a 3D concert with, among others, Idolian talents. The concert itself was run by Oshi Live, a VTuber-focused 3D, mocap, and other service provider company under the Brave Group umbrella. A few days later, an official partnership between Idol and Brave was announced. More on that later. Even though this concert only had the first generation perform, not long after, in January of 2024, the second generation also got their hands on a 3D event in the form of a concert at Anime Los Angeles, which also featured VShojo members Iron Mouse and Kayson. At the end of February, a school-themed VR chat world was announced under the name of Mirai Magical School, further solidifying their dedication to 3D content creation. Following the Hololive formula of personified management, V4 Mirai also debuted a staff member going by V-Sensei. She brings updates and behind-the-scenes stories from the company, as well as seemingly congregating a whole bunch of dumb, bad, horny people in the community. The only black-ish spot on the resume is the graduation of Biscotti, a member of the second generation. The graduation was announced on the 1st of March and took place on the 10th. Although an early graduation is never a good look, the parting seems to be an amicable one. An overall positive graduation stream, she still talked about fondly, the channel stayed up, and the character is still used in promotional materials. The third wave debuted just recently on the 6th of April with an additional 4 members. The auditions for the branch seem to be continuous, but 4 days after the debut of the third gen, notice for auditions was put out to drive the point home. V4 Mirai is not planning to slow down. Since Globy is quite new, I don't have much to talk about, so I'll just ramble a bit. Globy is the Europe-focused branch of the Western expansion, managed by Brave Group Europe. The project was announced in June of 2023, with the first generation debuting a hefty 7-people roster at the start of December of the same year. The second generation debuted throughout this April with another 8 members. In case the name was not enough of a giveaway, the main branding of the branch is being multicultural and multilingual, which is an interesting choice since I'd consider that more of a niche for 1, maybe 2 individuals, not an entire branch. Another thing is that the auditions for the second generation were closed at the end of November, even before the debut of the first generation. So instead of the usual debut a gen, learn from it, debut another with some tweaks, they seem to be confident enough in their ways to close the talent pool before the first debut. With that being said, if someone is willing to field and foot the bill for 15 VTubers in 5 months, especially for a not yet established brand where the return on investment is not guaranteed, they are probably in it for the long run. Also, they just had successful debuts for the second generation, so I guess reality is in their favor. Since it is not about a direct Brave subsidiary, I consider it more of an honorable mention, but at the end of 2023, a partnership was announced between Brave Group and Idol, an Israel-based VTuber corporation mainly operating in the US, especially after redebuting their first generation Idol HE to Idol EN. The announcement itself didn't give much information about the partnership other than emphasizing that it is not an acquisition, but in his blog, Aviel Bezin, the CEO of Idol, talked about hardships with delivering merchandise and therefore outsourcing e-commerce to Brave, as well as cooperation or future content and projects. Also, the emphasis on it not being an acquisition. In the brief press release about the topic, the headline talks about expansion projects and joint e-commerce, which is reiterated throughout the release itself. An interesting bit of information is that in his comment about the partnership, Brave US CEO Norikazu Hayashi talked about revitalizing the global and US markets, which, if not a mistranslation, means that right now he considers markets outside of Japan basically dead. On their website, Brave lists Idol as an alliance partner along with Aogiri High School and Vivion, so this doesn't give too much of a lead on what else the partnership could mean. Based on these, I'd say the partnership is about Brave handling e-commerce for Idol in exchange for money and or business know-how about the Western VTuber market. Also, of course, these are collaborations between talents of the companies, as was shown by the V4 Mirai 3rd Gen debut watch-alongs. That's all. Take care.